Hey everyone, I've been working on the game this past week and got some systems I wanted to show, and even the style of the game I've started to get going nicely. So a few things I'm pretty excited about this week to show. As well, decided to put my face in the video. I've been avoiding it for a long time and I'm trying to get used to it. So yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, pretty excited to show what I've done and hope you enjoy. Alright, so this is the selection screen now. You've got the level selection. I've got some images going now with the levels and the characters. So if you saw the last video, I had a few of the characters done and then they were in a pixelated style. But now I've gone with this comic book style and added the character names as well. So that font there, it's called Bangers, and I'll be using it a bit in the game now as well. So like BattleCourt was Chewy font everywhere, but this one I'll be using a few different fonts. So yeah, I've got Chewy there, Bangers here, and in a few of the other menus and things you'll see later in the video. And then yeah, still Chakra Petch, which is used in the console menu and everything. So this style of characters here, and I've got a bunch done. This is the characters I'm going to have at the first release, and then over time probably add more. But yeah, there's like 23 characters, and each of the characters is going to have a unique ability and skill tree and different stats. So yeah, adds a bit of variety. And then most are going to be unlocked initially. Like you'll start with probably just those two, John and Joan default. And as you unbeat certain conditions, you'll unlock a character. So like maybe Frenzy, if following from BattleCourt, you scrap a certain amount of weapons and then you can unlock Frenzy, or yeah, if you beat a certain level, that'll unlock another character and so on. So yeah, as you play, you'll unlock more characters. So yeah, pretty happy with the style that these characters turned out. And yeah, like that's the style I want to try and be going for with the game. So with the next parts of the video, you'll see what I've done. So yeah, that's it for the selection. Another thing I worked on is redoing the decals a bit. So if you saw the last video, I had some effects, and then yeah, I had, I think on Collide with 3 or something, it said pop. So I've kind of leaned more into that comic book style and the audio to text look. So when the bullets hit the ground, say, you'll see it show thud, decal, or it hits the enemy, it's flat, and trees, it crack. So yeah, that whole comic book style. Because yeah, even BattleCourt was a cartoony style, and I want to continue that style into this game with the cartoony comic book look. So yeah, these decals as text I think suit it well. So as well, if you notice, when the bullets collide with the enemy, there's also the damage number decal that flies above their heads. So I wanted to also have that. So yeah, they're actually two different decal types in the game logic, but yeah, basically just when the bullet collides with the entity, it creates the decal at the collision point for the text, and then above the enemy for the damage number. So yeah, that I was pretty excited with, and yeah, it's again using that Bangers font, and then I've added a perspective effect to the text to make it look like it pops out a bit. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how they came out as well. So another thing I was pretty happy with is the Skybox, or mainly this one. I've got the other level Skybox if you saw it in the selection screen. The two level selection buttons are the Skybox images. So yeah, but this one I'm really happy with how it turned out. So it's got that style I want for the game, and it suits the level pretty well. And it came out looking really nice. So yeah, this is one of the Skyboxes that I wanted to show. I almost forgot as well how to do the Skybox generation. I had to look up my old video and yeah, get the software again. But yeah, once it's all set up again, it came out looking nice. So a few other things I want to talk about is the enemy spawn, the performance and collision detection. So for enemies spawn, I currently have them spawning at a random position in a circle around the player. So wherever the current player position is, I draw a circle around that player at a certain radius that can be defined, and then enemies can spawn at random points on the edge of that circle. So not inside the circle, but yeah, like forming a ring, and the enemies can spawn at any point. So that's currently what I'm going with. I'm not sure if I'll keep it that way, because if you take a game like BattleCourt or even the popular one, Vampire Survivors, the enemies spawning at any point around the player can work because you can see all angles around the player. But at a first person view, it's a bit harder because you can't see behind you to the left and right. And having enemies spawn at every angle to you means you have to constantly be looking around. And like as I'm playing it in its current state, it feels all right, but I'm noticing you have to keep spinning around, and I don't like that. So I'm not sure if the current system is going to work well. I've thought of some alternatives, like have fixed spawn positions. There's another game that does it. I've played a few Bullet Heaven games, even the 3D ones. I like most of the ones I've played, and I've kind of seen how they handle it. One kind of did it with fixed spawns, and then the enemies kind of come out like a chain, which I kind of want to avoid that. But I think the fixed spawns may be an option. But yeah, that's still one thing. Another idea I had was to have the enemies only spawn in the player's aim angle. So like a cone in front of the player, the enemies can only spawn where you're looking, basically, which, yeah, I don't think would be good either, because then you can control where the enemies are spawning. And then, yeah, you basically just can stay looking in one direction. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that one either. So, yeah, still trying to figure out how to handle the enemy spawn. I want to keep that spawn from any angle, but yeah, not sure yet how I can handle it well. But there will be mods you get that work like how Vampire Survivors handle it, like things spinning around your player, hitting enemies from all angles. But again, with the first person view, you won't see, say, the enemies getting hit, or yeah, even if something's coming up from behind you. So yeah, that's still a work in progress. Like another one that I liked, which is kind of like a 3D Vampire Survivors. I've forgotten all the game names at the moment, but they handled it, I think, well. But they have a third person view. So it kind of, yeah, it doesn't have that problem that first person view has. So yeah, that's one thing at the moment. So as well, while talking about it, I wanted to talk about the collision detection. So I've kind of did a lot of the collision detection in all the DelSec work. But yeah, it's kind of really precise now, but it uses a bit of performance. So I simplified it a little bit, and I can simplify it more, but it will make the collisions a bit funky. Like as it is now, it still hits precise, but I'm using the bullet's ray, and the ray of the bullet, if you haven't seen the old videos, most likely you haven't, but it's the bullet position plus its velocity vector creates a ray, and then I detect if that ray is colliding with the object's OBB. So that was all custom collision detection. Monogame has some of its own, which is you can ray to collision box or collision box to collision box, even collision sphere, which is probably the least performance intensive. But I tried all those and it's not as precise. So for now, I'm keeping ray to OBB collision. And as you see, it's pretty consistent. And then as well, there's the aim distance. So I've currently not got it happening for the entities, but when you aim at a tree or the floor, it calculates the distance of the thing you are looking at. So the OBB's current, like where you're looking in the OBB, calculates that distance and then makes sure the bullets hit precisely where you're aiming at that point in the OBB. So that also is some performance, and I could remove it and have a fixed aim distance, so that I might, if the performance starts getting a hit, that's another thing I might change. So yeah, there's some of the things I've been looking at in the past week. So another thing I wanted to talk about is the pop-up menu. So I started from here, but if I start the game, you'll see here, I was really happy with how that one turned out, but basically that's a dynamic size pop-up menu, and I'll go back and reopen it. So I just type the text with the system I've built for it. You just type the text you want, and I've got that background being dynamically generated. So all you do is define the max width you want, and then it creates a pop-up. So again, like that comic book style. I only set it to display for 6 seconds or so, but yeah, it I've say currently got a 300 width. But if I put like 600 width or whatever, it'll make the text go up to that 600 point, generate the background to that, and then the height auto generate as well. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how that turned out. But those pop-ups, so in this one I've just got it on level start, but like they'll come whenever you want to trigger it basically. So like for the tutorial, if I'm going to have a tutorial level, but you'll see those pop-ups and they can appear anywhere on screen, and they can give you a hint or something, or yeah, give an alert. And I think again they suit the comic book style well, so I was really happy with how they turned out. So yeah, that one is another thing I added. Yeah, thanks for watching. I was pretty excited to show this video because it's the style of the game is starting to take shape. And yeah, like say those pop-up messages and the decals and the Skybox, they're all starting to build that style that I want. But yeah, hopefully next week I'll have more to show as well. So yeah, thanks and see you.